Hello, everybody. My name is Diana. I'm a web developer and web accessibility expert. And today I will try to help you to understand how to check your site, whether it's accessible, what about user experience design, and how to make it better for your visitors in order to understand all the information and all the actions that they can do on your site when they go to it. And today I will use an example, a very popular site in France, Ameli, because every person who live in France should have an access and account on this site. That's where we check our insurance, our medical bills, how does it go with the coverage, and we put information about us, where we live, what we do, and who is our personal doctor. So it contains a lot of personal, private information and information also about the costs, medical costs. So it should be very secure and accessible. And today we will check how it is, what about its accessibility and user experience design. So I will share with you my screen to show you this site. Hopefully, yes, that's how it look like. So we are on Ameli's side, and first thing, always when you want to take a look at the site, you need to take a look like a user, just like a person who enter on the site. Do you find it nice? Do you like the design? Do you understand what are the parts of the site, what it is about? Just the first impression. This is really important to start a check of every site with this. So here I can see that, okay, I understand logically that at the top we have navigation, the menu with the main links. I like, so there is a logo, there is the part where we can search information on the site, and there's a button to access the account. I like it, and I like that the button is quite big, so you cannot miss it. And I like that the color is very contrasting with the rest of the page, and I can see how it changes when I just put focus on it. So here I see that, okay, there are news. So there's some information and links with the news and some parts. Okay, now we can see a change of color at the background, which is good. So we enter another section where this site, this main page of Ameli's site, explain us what it consists of, like what are the services that you can do and actions that you can apply on this site. Okay, this is good, and it has the link here. This is great. Now we go after that to the illnesses, so you can read about different illnesses and the symptoms. So this is another section and another background. So the color is different and it's good visually. I understand that we are entering another section. Now there are other news. So as I can see, it's about social media and the blog. And now there are some interesting facts with numbers. So yeah, I like that it's not too much. I'm not lost on the page. It will not take too long to read it or to go through this. So, and we have a footer with different color. I actually like very much that they have such big buttons to contact us and the forum. It's visually understandable. There are not too many elements. I like it. Overall, the first impression is very good. And now we will take a look at this site using a special extension. I will try to see it. I will try to apply web disability simulator so that we see how this main page of Amelie is seen by people with different disabilities. This is important to understand what we missed during the first impression look at the site. So, for example, people with total color blindness, that's how they will see a site. And so this will explain us better why it's important good color contrast and why if it's actually small, the color contrast percentage, the ratio between the colors, then even when they become black and white or with some gray gradient in between, it's not going to be seen very well. So here I can see that, okay, everything can be read. I would say that it's very good for even for people with such disability as color blindness. Now we will check different type. So for example, a tunnel vision. So that's how people with tunnel vision, they will see the side. And I can see that there is like a little problem in a way that the elements, they are big, which is good, but for people with tunnel vision there should be more columns so that it's more thin. It's better to like what they have here, for example, with the news. So there's this news, we can read the title just like this, and then the second one. So this is perfect for people with tunnel vision. Now we will try, for example, farsightedness. Okay, so here we can see that I can read the news, actuality, but the rest, the text is too small. We need to think about that the font should be as big as possible, and there are different things like, for example, we need to offer a text-to-speech reader for people who know and can use screen reader. So this can be easier to go through the site and read all of this. And we need to avoid small font size, of course, and long texts. So this is about visual part. Now we will go to people who have Parkinson disease. And this, I think there shouldn't be a problem. So you can see that the cursor of the mouse is jumping, it's trembling. So this is for people who cannot for who it's hard to put the focus of the mouse on the buttons, on the active elements. And you can see that the button is quite big, so I still can do it even with shaking cursor of the mouse. So this is very good. And now we'll try a different one. For example, for people with dyslexia, that's how the site will look. Here, it's important not to use complex terms or long texts because it's hard for them to read. As you can see, all the characters, they're moving, they're changing, and it's hard to keep attention and to read it. So there are specific rules for people with dyslexia. And now we will check, for example, concentration. People with problem with concentration, like ADHD, autism, that's how they see the site. So everything is moving, and it's hard to put the focus. But here, I mean, yes, we have problem which stays like with the concentration, but the elements, as they're big, the text is big, it's not too long. It should help understanding the purpose of the site and to do actions on the site, like accessing your account, for example. Okay, so we checked how it looks, and I don't see a problem. Like, for example, we could see a problem if the buttons, they're too small. Then trying this extension with Parkinson disease, we would see that it's impossible to put the cursor of the mouse on the button, on the active element. Here it's possible because it's quite big, the elements, and it's easy to use. And now we'll try to use a tab. So I will check whether if we use just the keyword, the site is still accessible and we see the focus on all interactive elements. So I just go to the beginning, so you can see it's possible even to go to continue principal content. There's a special button that appears when you use the tab. This is very good. That's what should be added to all the sites when we use the tab, but not all the sites they have it. So you can see where you are. This is good. I will not in this check try screen reader because it will not be heard through the video, but I will show you. And normally when we use screen reader with the keyboard, we hear every element, how it sounds and where we are. not just see where the focus is, but also we hear the information and the titles. So you can see that we can go through the site, no problem. All the links and buttons, they are accessible. Okay, so this is great. I would say that yes, it has very good impression, this site. And now we'll try to check what about the headings. Do we have problem like okay, I can see that there is a H1, the title, which is in the logo. This is a small problem, I would say, because I would say that you better not to use your logo as a heading, the first level heading, because the heading, it's like a name of the name of the um name of the section of the book. It should be unique. Even if we are on the main page, after that, like here on the side, most probably there are like dozens of pages, and each of them should have unique H1. If they saved H1, like to use the logo as H1, then everywhere it will have the same meaning. So for the why it's important? It's important because searching agents like engines like Google, Firefox, they use their robots who automatically check all the websites in the internet. They use H1 as the main um, as the main title, as the main meaning of what is on the page. And if you don't have it, it's a big mistake, both for optimization, for helping your potential clients and visitors to find the site, and also it's a technical problem. But here, at least they have it. Many sites that don't have H1, which is even bigger mistake. Here we can see that they have just H1, H2, H3. So there are titles of 3 sizes, but they have it. And here on the in the footer we can see H2. I would say that as footer, this bottom part of the site stays the same on all the pages. We need to remember that if it's H2 and if we have it coded the same way for all pages, um, here we see that on the main page we have just several parts, so it's not a problem. But there are other pages, and there might be titles like H4, H5, and if we come back, so there might be a structure that doesn't go right, doesn't go correctly. So we need to think when we code footer, we need to code it for all the pages and how it will look for other pages, not just for the main one. But here it works right. We don't see any mistakes. And so now I will check with the special tool, Accessibility Insights for Web, what are potential problems of this web page. So first I will try just a quick review, and it's very interesting to see that actually it doesn't find a single mistake. This I see for the first time. Usually the sites, they always have some problems. But here, automatic mistakes, we don't find any. And so I will check more thoroughly. Like, for example, I would say that it's good to check here this part. It's white on gray. I don't know for sure whether this part is accessible, whether color contrast is sufficient in this part. So that's what we will do. We will go to inspector, and I will go to color contrast software. So this is the web page where I check. It's very good. So it tells you whether your color contrast is sufficient for different levels of accessibility, because there are like AA level, AAA, and there are different standards for each of them. And you can also check how it will look for normal text, for large text. So it's very good. So I will show you how I use this side and how I check color contrast. So I go to check the background, the color of the background. So here we can see that it's 21, 25, 29. I'm trying to find this color here in the code. Somehow it doesn't come fast. But I will find it. Yes, I found the color of the background, and the front for the foreground for the text for the title, it's white color, just 6 times F. So that's what I do. For the background, I put the color, and foreground, I choose the color of the text. So here it will be, and we can see that yes, it has very good color contrast, even though it's a little bit lighter, right? When I take a look at this color, maybe they use some calc, like they use the transparency maybe for this color so that it becomes lighter, because I wouldn't say that precisely this color, yes, it's accessible, but it looks different from what I see, because the color that they use in the code, it's darker than how it is on the side. But yeah, I checked that anyway, the color contrast is, so the ratio is 15. This is very good. It should be minimum 4.5 for AA standard. And preferably you should go to 7.5. But just like I always hear from my clients, in this case, it's going to be very hard with the colors and everything should just be black and white. This is not the case. It's possible to find a lot of colors that are accessible on both black and white. So no problem at all. I found a very good article, which I can show you in another video, where there are 80 colors that are accessible both on black and white. So it's amazing. You can use it for both light and dark mode. Okay, but here, so I just checked whether it's accessible, and black on yellow, I can see that it should be fine. The problem that I see is that it has several images with the text on it. This is a mistake. There shouldn't be on the side images with the text. The text should be coded separately. And here we can see that there is here one image, and there is the second and third. As I understand, these are two separated images with the text on it. And here I checked separately that, because I had some question about the contrast here. There's yellow on blue, as you can see here at the right side. And it's actually 4.5. It's precisely good ratio, but it's at the limit. So if it's like a 4.49, it's already not accessible. So it's a very limit. And yeah, now I will try to take a look at the site with another extension, wave evaluation tool, which is a very interesting, very simple tool that can help understanding other aspects of the site. You could think that, okay, we checked it with accessibility insights for web, this will be enough. But no, because there are other things. For example, here, this tool, it helps you to see what are the links, what are the area label used, straight visually seen, so you don't need to be a web developer in order to check it. What is also important is that we can see alternative text of the images, like for example this one. And this is one of the problems of the site that still exists, even though it says automatically that it's 100% accessible. There are several things, several problems that could be improved. Like one of the important ones, what I mentioned before, that the text shouldn't be on the image. And it actually has a very long alternative text. Like, for example, this part, all this, it's, oh, sorry. We just, I clicked on the link, unfortunately. So here you can see that all this text, it's a link. and it's alternative text. And alternative text shouldn't be too long, because that's the information that the screen reader will read for your user who cannot see it. And the length of alternative text should be no longer than 125 characters. Well, here I was checking already this text that the length is 321. So it's more than twice longer than what it's supposed to be in order to provide comfortable reading, comfortable going through the site. Because if just to read one alternative text for the image, it takes a minute or even several, then the person will not stay on the site. He will say, okay, this is too long. I don't have time to just several minutes go through one image. This is not accessible. This is not good. And for those who don't understand what is alternative text, everybody actually went through this problem. If you have a slow internet connection, your images, they're not downloaded. There is like a sign of broken image and some text. This is the text that explains what is on the image that couldn't be downloaded. And it provides explanation for those who are visually impaired and cannot see, or there are some people who have special neuro disabilities, so they can see fine, but they cannot read or understand information visually. They listen screen reader even though they actually can see, but they cannot understand the information without being heard, without this information being heard. So that's how it goes. And there are several alternative texts on this side that are too long and should be changed. Like, for example, here, this image, it has alternative text that is clearly longer than 125 characters. But the rest is quite well done and it's understandable. And I also was checking the site. I will show you how it looks. It's important to check the site after disabling all CSS, so all the style. Still, the most important information should be available and should be seen. And that's what we will check right now. I will just show you how I do this. So I disable all the styles on the side, but we still can understand. So here there is navigation, the menu with all the elements. It's perfect. We can see all the links. Then there is a big logotype, but we can see that actually the parameters of the screen stayed the same. This is great. And actually all the elements, they're accessible. They are not too big. I would say it's one of the best pages, web pages that I've ever seen for saving such showing such web accessibility while all the styles they're disabled. And this is another good part of this site. Okay, so we checked Ameli's site and we've seen that it's actually a very good site for web accessibility and to show what are important elements you should have on your site and how you should represent them in order to be accessible to everybody. And we also found some elements that should be improved. And I hope it was interesting for you. I hope that more people will find web accessibility, how important it is, and why all sites they should be accessible. And we will continue with the next video. I will show you other examples and how they should be checked and what should be improved. See you soon.